Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam Stuti series. In the Varaha Stuti, today we will cover the last shloka, shloka number 45 of the 13th chapter, 3rd canto. Savai bhata bhrishta matistavaisyate
Savai bata prishtamatistavaisyate
yah karmanam paramapara karmanah
ya karmanam param apara karmana
yad yogamaya gunayogamohitam
yat yogamaya gunayogamohitam
Vishwam samastam bhagavan vidhehisham.
Vishwam samastam bhagavan videsham.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Saha,
Saha,
he,
he,
by,
why,
certainly,
certainly,
bata,
bata,
alas,
alas,
bhrashtamatihi,
rashtamatihi,
nonsense,
nonsense,
tava,
tava,
your,
your,
eshate,
eshate,
desires,
desires,
yaha,
yah,
one who,
one who,
karmanam,
karmanam,
of activities,
of activities,
param,
param,
limit,
limit,
apara karmanaha,
apara karmanaha,
of one who has unlimited activities,
of one who has unlimited activities,
yat,
yat,
by whom,
by whom,
yoga,
yoga,
mystic power,
mystic power,
maya,
maya,
potency,
potency,
guna,
guna,
modes of nature, modes of material nature,
modes of material nature,
yoga,
yoga,
mystic power,
mystic power,
mohitam,
mohitam,
bewildered,
bewildered,
vishwam,
vishwam,
the universe,
universe,
samastam,
samastam,
in total,
in total,
bhagavan,
Bhagavan,
O Supreme Personality of Godhead,
O Supreme Personality of Godhead,
vidhehi,
Videhi,
just be pleased to bestow,
just be pleased to bestow
sham,
Sham,
good fortune.
good fortune.
Translation, O Lord,
Translation, O Lord,
there is no limit to your wonderful activities.
there is no limit to your wonderful activities.
Anyone who desires to know the limit of your activities
Anyone who desires to know the limit of your activities
is certainly nonsensical.
is certainly nonsensical.
Everyone in this world
Everyone in this world
is conditioned by the powerful mystic potencies.
is conditioned by the powerful mystic potencies.
Please bestow your causeless mercy upon these conditioned souls.
Please bestow your causeless mercy upon these conditioned souls.
So, in this last shloka of the Stuti series, of course, the chapter continues. Prabhupada writes in the purport, mental speculators who want to understand the limit of the unlimited are certainly nonsensical. Every one of them is captivated by the external potencies of the Lord, which is Mahamantra. The best thing for them is to surrender unto Him, knowing Him to be inconceivable, for thus they can receive His causeless mercy. If you want to understand the Lord, we have to surrender to Him. This prayer was offered by the inhabitants of the higher planetary systems, namely Jana, Tapo, and Satyaloka, who are far more intelligent and powerful than humans. Vishwam Samastam is very significant here. There are the material world and the spiritual world. The sages pray, both worlds are bewildered by your different energies. Those who are in the spiritual world are absorbed in your loving service, forgetting themselves and you also. and those in the material world are absorbed in material sense gratification and therefore also forget you. No one can know you because you are unlimited. It is best not to try to know you by unnecessary mental speculation. Rather, kindly bless us so that we can worship you with causeless devotional service. Prabhupada is describing the prayers of these sages and summarizing it here by saying, actually, both the devotees and the non-devotees are bewildered by the Lord's potencies. One is bewildered by the Yoga Maya potency so much so they forget that Bhagavan is Bhagavan, so that they can have and enjoy their pastimes with the Lord. The non-devotees are also bewildered by another potency of the Lord, Mahamaya, so they are made to forget the Lord. Actually, both are forgetful of the Lord. But one is so engrossed in loving service of the Lord without knowing that it is the Lord. The other is engrossed in enjoying themselves. So the Lord has unlimited forms, unlimited pastimes, unlimited devotees, and the Lord reciprocates with each one of his devotees personally. Prabhupada says that devotees can perceive this reciprocation of the Lord. So it requires a little bit of purity to experience and perceive the reciprocation of the Lord. Of course, pure devotees experience everything as the reciprocation of the Lord, but we are not at that stage. Relationship means activities. You cannot have a relationship if there are no activities of service. And Srila Prabhupada says that when that relationship with the Lord is understood, then the relative activities begin. That means devotional service means service is emphasized. So, because we are conditioned souls, we are forgetful of Krishna, and we are so preoccupied with sense gratification. We have 5 senses. Okay, the nose can smell. What else can it do? Not much else. The ears can hear. What else can it do? Not much else. And so on and so forth. But with the mind which is considered the 6th sense, it can give you endless suggestions, endless preoccupations. It just can pull you away from the Lord in so many different directions. So all kinds of activities are concocted by our mind. So we have a limited body, limited senses, limited mind, but even in the conditioned state, we have endless number of activities that we can come up with. So then can you imagine in a state of self-realized, God-realized state, if in a conditioned state we have endless activities, can you imagine in a realized state how unlimited the activities are in the spiritual world? So simply in the spiritual world, the Lord and his devotees are engaged in unlimited activities, trying to please and satisfy each other. So here in this verse, the word apara karmanaha is being used. So apara karmanaha, unlimited activities the Lord has. So if the Lord has unlimited activities, imagine how many scriptures must be written to capture every one of the Lord's unlimited activities. So you can't write as many scriptures because we as conditioned souls have limited capacity. Of course, the scriptures are coming through us, to us through the pure devotees of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that the Ramayana that is available to us through the sage Valmiki is about 24,000 verses. But in Brahmaloka, the same Ramayana is 100 crore verses or 1 billion verses, Shatakoti. And the Ramayana that Valmiki narrates is this 24,000 verses. The original Ramayana in Brahmaloka was narrated by Lord Brahma to Narada Muni. So there is no limit to the Lord's activities. So Brahma says that even the Ramayana that he has narrated to Narada is not a complete description of Lord Ram's activities. So we only have a limited description of the Lord's activities here. So the Lord is performing his activities even in the material world unlimitedly. But it is only through the causeless mercy of the Lord that we can actually experience it, or we can even witness it. His Prakata Leelas are witnessed by a limited number of devotees, and of course, it can be heard by many more devotees. So there's no limit to the Lord's activities. So when the Lord finishes his pastimes in one universe, he moves to another universe and another universe and another universe. So essentially, Prabhupada is saying the Lord is also busy with his activities and pastimes. So devotees also want to be busy serving the Lord. They don't want anything else but service of the Lord. We also want unlimited service of the Lord, because the more you serve the Lord, the more you are getting purified. So practicing devotion without service is incomplete. We can chant 64 rounds per day, but if we're not engaged in service, because as conditional souls, service purifies us. So we are so fortunate that so many pure devotees come to tell us about the pastimes of the Lord. So either the pure devotees reveal the pastimes of the Lord to us, like Valmiki, Vedavyas, Shukadev Goswami, Suta Goswami, Narada Muni, Vyasadev. All of them are engrossed in narrating the pastimes of the Lord. In case the devotees don't come to narrate the pastimes of the Lord himself comes to tell us about himself. And one such example is the Matsya avatar. In the Matsya avatar, the Lord himself describes his activities to Satyavrata Muni. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is saying, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan avavyayam. So Krishna is saying, the science that he's about to reveal to Arjuna has been lost. He has already instructed to the sun god, to Vivasvan, to Manu, and now he's getting ready to do the same for Arjuna. So how is Mahamaya bewildering us? As per this particular shloka, we are also engaged in so many activities. The Lord is busy with his activities. The devotees are busy with their activities. Conditioned souls are also busy with their mundane activities of sense enjoyment. But unfortunately for the conditioned souls, whatever activities that we are engaged in is never going to bring us permanent happiness. And sometimes, if we are really fortunate, the Lord will keep frustrating us in our material activities so much so that we will turn to him and surrender to him. Then we will realize that our only true happiness comes in our relationship with Krishna and not in any other relationship. Of course, we also derive a lot of bliss and happiness in our relationship with other devotees. We have to cherish our relationship with other devotees. The Lord is so kind that he's not only allowed you to serve him, He's allowed you to serve his devotees too. But the conditioned soul is so unfortunate that they reject the Lord's mercy. We don't want to hear about the Lord because we are too busy with sense gratification. So here, unless the Lord himself bestows his causeless mercy upon us, we cannot acquire this taste to serve him, to hear about him. The Lord arranges to come into the material world in so many different forms to appeal to the tastes and varieties of so many different conditioned souls. So as many waves as there are in the ocean, that many unlimited forms and pastimes that the Lord has. And the Lord is so kind that he also sends his confidential devotees, like Srila Prabhupada, to bestow. Srila Prabhupada came from the spiritual world to bestow the Lord's mercy upon the conditioned souls. So pure devotees also can bestow the Lord's mercy on us. We should not think that our connection is only with the Lord. Our connection is also with the pure devotees of the Lord. Because if they don't come as messengers, how can we be saved? We see how Sri Advaita Acharya begged and pleaded by worshipping his Shaligram Shila with the Ganges water and Tulsi leaves, invoking the Lord to come, because he was seeing that there are so many rich people, well-to-do people who are wasting their time in useless get-togethers. So he was so compassionate. He prayed to the Lord, you please come yourself to bestow your mercy upon the conditioned souls in Kali Yuga, to revive the spiritually dead. Prabhupada says those who are not practicing Krishna consciousness are actually dead. They may be walking, they may be talking, they may be engaged in so many activities, but they're actually dead. They're like in a coma, deep sleep. So I was hearing a class this morning on this particular shloka. The Lord is so merciful. You know, all of us cannot install deities in our home. So because if you install deities, there is a particular way in which you're supposed to worship them. The only form of the Lord that need not be installed, that you can worship at home, is the self-manifested Shaligram Shilas. Because they are all Swayambhu. And they come in different forms. Narasimha, Narayana, Kurma, so many different varieties of Shaligram Shila. If you have a Shaligram Shila at home, you don't have to have an installation ceremony. Of course, in the Sri Vaishnava Parampara, there is a very strict way in which you're supposed to take care of the Shaligram Shila. You have to maintain a certain level of sadhana and purity in the way in which you worship the Shaligram Shila. Although Advaita Acharya was using the Ganges water and Tulsi leaves, that is sufficient enough to worship the Shaligram Shila, but you have to maintain a certain level of purity. Even though the Shaligram Shila does not need to be installed, because it is self-manifested form of the Lord. Any other deity you have at home, of course, you don't do the full Prana Pratishta ceremony at home, but still if you want to worship it, there is some limited process that we go through, at least in ISKCON, to be able to worship deities in different forms. So what pleases the Lord most? So we said we need the Lord's causeless mercy. We are saying causeless, meaning it doesn't require us to do anything specific. It just comes like raindrops, you know. But then the Lord also says in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 69th shloka, Nacha tasman manushyeshu kaschan me priyakrittamaha bhavita nacha me tasmad anyaf priyataro bhuvi. In this particular shloka, the Lord is saying, there is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. So simply by taking the message of the Lord to all the conditioned souls, even out of a sense of duty, we may not feel that compassion that pure devotees feel for the fallen souls. We may follow it more as an instruction. But even if we do that, Krishna says, there is no person more dear to me than him. After all, who is going to rescue the non-devotees? It has to be the devotees. So pure devotees are willing to take up all kinds of austerities and all kinds of risks to take the message of the Lord to those who are fallen, to revive them back to their original consciousness, to be Krishna conscious. So we will summarize this stuti very quickly. The shlokas that we've covered so far is from shloka number 33 to 45. So in the 33rd shloka, actually from 34 to 45 we've covered. So in the 34th shloka, it begins with the glorification of the Lord, that he is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Then from shlokas 35 to 38, Lord Varaha's body in the form of sacrifice, various parts of his body being various aspects of sacrifices described in detail, like his tongue, the nostril, the belly, the ears, the mouth, and so on and so forth. In the 38th shloka, the sages were saying that you are the object of all the soma and asoma sacrifices. In the 39th shloka, the sages were offering their obeisances to the Lord, who is most worshipable, who is the supreme form, who is realized by one who has conquered their mind, and who is the supreme master of all knowledge. In shlokas 40 and 41, they describe how the earth is lifted up on his tusks, and they give analogies. An elephant holding a lotus flower with its trunk, a huge mountain decorated with clouds. In the 42nd shloka, they are talking about the Lord and Bhumi Devi being our parents. In the 43rd shloka, they are saying, who else but you could deliver Mother Earth? In the 44th shloka that we did yesterday, the sages are talking about how we get purified by the touch of the waters that come off the hairs of your shoulder. And we also talked about the Ganges water being pure. And here in this 45th shloka, they're summarizing by saying that your activities are unlimited. And they're contrasting the fact that anyone who wants to know about your activities, they are very, very fortunate because they received your mercy. And then they are saying that just as much as the devotees are influenced by Yogamaya, that same Yogamaya is influencing the conditioned souls as Mahamaya. And they are requesting that the Lord should bestow his causeless mercy upon the conditioned soul like us, so that we may also be attached to the Lord and begin our journey in this back to the spiritual world.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.